Okay, that's
And we're
very
rolling.
too.
So please introduce yourself for the camera, for the record. Let the record state.
Okay, now this is a bit silly. I was trying to look like a nice, you know that Monty Python, the Knights of Me.
Yeah.
I thought you were going for Darth Vader.
I am your father, Luke. Whitewashed. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, my name is York Zuki and I'm from a company called Hello Healthcare. We're in the process of rebranding. We're taking the O out of Hello.
Ah, that's awesome.
Hell Healthcare.
Yeah.
Our motto is we'll get you there faster.
Alright, thanks Jackie. We're gonna do it this way, where I'm gonna be having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
We're gonna Suki.
Which is you, York.
Yeah.
But you could call me Your Highness.
No. You're fine. Yes. So what we're gonna do, we have a set of questions.
Okay.
That we're gonna ask you.
Okay.
And from the questions we're gonna build, Kelly over here will also be noting down extra some of the things that come out of the conversation.
Right.
And then we're gonna just try to find out about the innovation and creativity.
Okay.
But we would like to start from the bottom.
Okay.
About how the business started and what inspired the idea.
Okay. I'm Swiss by background, worked all over the world. In 2007, I quit my job at a big American bank in London and decided that I actually want to make an impact in the world and that banking isn't the right tool through which to do it. I knew South Africa from previous, and so I decided that Africa is the continent of opportunity. So I moved here in October 2007 and started 6 businesses, 5 of which failed. The 6th one is Hello Healthcare, and it focuses on trying to increase the way primary healthcare services are delivered in the market. If we are able to control a bit better how they're delivered, we can reduce cost and also increase the standards of primary healthcare services, hence making an impact on people's lives.
All right. So with healthcare being such a very important issue, especially in South Africa right now, how is it that you were able to start a business like that when, I mean, I believe everything has been done in healthcare. Where did the spark come from which said, no, let's focus on healthcare because, you know, there's medical aids, there's hospitals, there's everything there.
Correct. So 10-second background about healthcare. In the pyramid of healthcare, you've got hospitals, specialists and doctors.
Yes.
That's not the space we play in. That's the space we play in is where Barack Obama in America is going, where Aaron Motsoaledi, the health minister in South Africa, is going, which is something called primary healthcare. And they're saying, my dear patient, instead of before going to a doctor or hospital, which is too expensive on a visit basis, I want you to go to a primary healthcare, a nurse-based clinic, and then be referred upwards. That's primary healthcare. And if you break it open, it's occupational healthcare, wellness, primary healthcare clinics, mobile clinics, step-down, subacute, rehab, nursing agencies, and caregivers, and so forth. So it's a very, very important part of the future of healthcare. But one problem, it's extremely fragmented. So coming to your point, everything has been done before. Yes, it has, but in silos. So there's a nursing agency that does this. There's a consumable manufacturer for healthcare products there. There's a diagnostic manufacturer over here. There's facilities who builds them over here. Somebody's very good at business processes and so forth, but they're not speaking to each other.
Yeah.
So I didn't invent anything new. All I did was say, but hold on a second, the client sits on that side. The client doesn't give a shit about you, Kelly, or myself. The client wants a total solution, package, keys in hand, sorted.
In one place.
That's all I did, was figure out how to fit the different parts together in such a way that we can pass the savings on to the client.
Yes. But now that sounds to me like a very big portfolio.
So the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, but it's not as difficult as it makes it sound to be. When you build this building, you have architects, you have town planners, you have the guy and girl who does the actual bricklaying, when you have a painter afterwards.
Yeah.
It's all about process engineering. It's about saying, how do we put the parts together, understand the different parts, and how do they fit into the value chain.
Okay.
I would love to say that I was brilliant and I came with that model because I thought about it, but actually what I was trying to do was raise funding or a fund to buy out primary healthcare companies. That was 2007 when the financial crisis happened.
Yes.
So I couldn't raise the funding. So this model came about out of necessity. And it actually turned out to be a better idea because I don't have capital outlays.
Yeah. So the creative model that you worked with that's working for you even today came out of the economic downfall and
out of not being able to succeed with the strategy that I had
that you
planned.
had planned initially.
And it was almost an accident. We were just sitting around the table like this one, and it turned out that you were a nursing agency, you were consumable, you were a farmer, you were this and so forth. And we said, well, why? You didn't speak to each other. Okay, well, now we're speaking to each other. Let's work together.
All right. Now, coming to what we call innovation and creative, how is it promoted? Coming up with new ideas or new products within the company, how is that promoted?
So the first part we look at is the sustainability of something. And then we try to see it slightly differently. Most people working in silos have always done it in a certain way.
Yeah.
So for example, we had a clinic, and in the clinic the patients came in, waited, and then they saw the doctor. So we thought, but hold on a second, if you look at the process, that's not optimal. There's a bottleneck called the doctor.
Yeah.
What if we hire 2 more people to drop the costs? Which sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But what we did is hire a person at the reception who says, and you are great, and where do you live, and all the basic.
Yeah.
Then you go to a junior nurse who does all your vitals, who does your checkup. Great, it's all done. And then by the time you go to the doctor, who's usually the most expensive resource, instead of spending 35, 40 minutes with the doctor, you spend 5 to 10 minutes. Now the throughput with the doctor is dramatically higher. So we can see that many more patients in a day. So that's a way, for example, of bringing it's common sense really, but
yeah.
Common sense is often not that common.
Not common, yeah.
So that's a way, for example, that we approach it. Sometimes it isn't about the parts, it's about how you package them together, which is the innovative part.
Okay. And working forward from that, how did you manage to build that into a culture? Like, because you got people who were working in silos and they were working all differently. But now you bring them together and they have to, because when I'm used to doing things my own way alone, it's different now when I have to work with somebody else. And I have to. So how did you guys manage to now make a culture out of that? Was it from you as the founders?
Well, death threats helped a lot. Coffee and locking the door. So 2 liters of coffee, lock the door, and don't allow anybody to go to the bathroom until they sign the document. That's another strategy. I think, so I don't have a right answer for you. There's no culture.
Yeah.
It's a very dynamic beast.
Yes.
However, how do you get people to collaborate? Well, I think you've got to tap into the human psyche of all of us. We are selfish individuals. We want to survive, feed our family, do business, grow, and not have the headaches of hiring, marketing, finding new clients, doing the back office and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's where we created this cooperative model, which says we value each transaction. So the clients say, I need a mobile clinic. Kelly is the manufacturer of a truck. You are the manufacturer of a cabin. Somebody else does the consumables, the diagnostic, the nurses, the software systems, and so forth. So I say, okay, that's one transaction. And because you're all entrepreneurs, you tend to usually try and deliver on what you promised.
Yeah.
So I measure our relationships on a transaction by transaction basis. If you screw up on that one transaction, I will not call you again the next time.
Yeah.
However, there's a relationship element being built as well. So we have a safeguard of there is money to be made for you. You don't make as much money as before, but you also don't have a contractual relationships headaches. You don't have as much back office headaches and project management headaches. So that we take away from you. So you still make money, you still grow your business, you're still part of it, but we measure you.
Obligations.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Please interrupt. So that's like your external innovation or creativity process. How do you manage it within your team, like just down the road here? How do you get ideas to be generated from within the organization? Same thing, coffee, locked room.
So you got to remove a little bit the operational side from the bigger cooperative.
Okay.
So the operational side has now become back office software controlling, which allows you to put control mechanism to all the various clinics and projects. So while before they were doing a clinic would be done on a very manual basis, now we've put in our software systems that allow to control everything. So that if a nurse treats you, stock gets deducted, invoice gets created, health record gets populated, and HR knows what you're up to at the touch of a button. That way we know exactly which needles are being used on which patient for what, how much is still left, and so forth and so on. So there's control mechanism, and that team in the office is responsible for that element of it. So it's a very different mindset when coming up with creative solutions.
Yeah.
However, the solutions that they come up with must be fitting to the business processes in real life. So it's, I think the direct answer is communication.
Okay.
Non-stop communication.
Wow. But Gary, looking at this,
Sorry, I'm boring you. That's probably
No, this is amazing, because now you're talking about all this creative things that we don't see it at other primarily healthcare institutions, or when you go to a doctor, surgeries. You don't see all of that happening. Everything's written by a pencil. They put into a file. They file it somewhere in a trunk, or whatever. When you come next time,
Correct.
they pull it out.
if I can find it.
If they can find it. If they don't, they'll start a new one.
Assuming you go to the same clinic. If you go to another one, you're pretty much fucked.
Yes.
Sense it.
So now, did you outsource some IT people to come into the business and give you that solution? Did you?
So if this was a job interview, I'd say I had planned this right from the start, and the strategic direction was clearly aligned to our implementation strategy. The reality of it, often you do things by mistake. So we actually started by packaging it, and then a nursing agency that was running a retirement village just said, listen, you got a guy in your team who's good at Excel. Can he not do a system that is basic to allow us to manage our stock? And out of that, it became this, and then it became that, and then it became this. So we pumped almost 6 million rand into that software, which is run now all over South Africa and in some parts of Africa. So it actually was created almost by mistake to solve a need. And then out of that, we started building on it. But often, creativity comes through lack of resources. I find not having money is the biggest positive factor a company can have, because you have to now start thinking. It's easy to write a check, but sometimes you've got to start thinking in ways of doing things which require no money or very little effort, but have a maximum impact.
All right. So on the website, I saw you spoke about it started with a dream, and probably the dream was from an individual. And how do you now put everyone into that same dream so that you can share? You have you can share the dream so that you can eventually get to achieving your goals.
Sure. Well, it started on an LSD trip, and now we're giving free LSD tablets to everybody to be part of that dream. I'm just kidding here, okay, just for the record. You show way too much enthusiasm for that statement.
She was dream out of the dream.
I want a dream.
I believe I can fly. We lose half of our staff through, jumping off a rooftop. No, just. We don't have a corporate culture. I can't tell you, listen, if you don't fit into this is our model and this is what we're going to do. My suspicion is deep down inside most people are very good.
Yeah.
They're good at pulsating hard and wants to do something good. They just haven't found the avenue through which to do it, the right channel. So all I try to offer them is a way of saying, well, listen, here is the kind of projects that we're doing. Which one do you think you can really add value towards the bigger picture of improving the state of primary healthcare. Remember, our customers are